Welcome back to Flashback. We're here to get you caught up on the EU LCS playoffs race, which is coming after what is quite possibly the most competitive split we've had in Europe ever. And I think you'll be surprised at who's pulling ahead now during Week 8 of the EU LCS. Let's check it out. Since Week 5, the Unicorns of Love have won 5 games in a row, whereas Vitality have lost 5 of their latest 6 games. However, Vitality felt it was time for change and made trouble for the Unicorns. Once the momentum was against UOL, Vitality made sure to keep it that way as they rolled over the Unicorns to keep their hopes of second seed alive.
Vitality, get excited!
Next up was another match with playoff implications as Giants Gaming squared off against Schalke 04. It was a closely fought early game, but once the damage came online for Upset and Nukeduck, it was all Schalke as they stacked up the kills for a decisive victory.
Steelback is killed by Nukeduck, a triple kill, because the focus was on Upset.
It was getting a little personal with Splice's former bot lane partners Mickey X and Kobe facing off on opposing teams.
Hey Mickey, you are in the room, man.
Oh man, I love that. You're nothing without me. Your negative energy brought me down.
Ooh. So naturally, the early game was an explosion of action in the bot lane as both teams fought for the upper hand.
The fight is now messy. Kissing's running for his life. Maxwell gets a double kill.
But it was Splice who changed the course of the game with a squeaky clean Baron take. And it took just minutes after that for them to topple Misfits base and take the win. H2K came into their match against G2 Esports trying to keep their hopes for playoffs alive. But it looked like all was lost as G2 took fight after fight and a massive lead in the process, winding up 11-0 with 5 towers at 25 minutes. But Perks getting caught by Shook's Skarner flash ult was the beginning of the throw, and once Sheriff's Kog'Maw had all the items he needed to dish out tons of damage, he led H2K to a massive comeback victory.
H2K have turned this one around again! Really?
The last match of Day 1 featured top-ranked Fnatic versus Roccat. It was a stomp from the beginning, after Hylissang's classic Morgana made a reappearance, and Reckless picked up a double kill in the bot lane. From there, Fnatic just ran circles around Roccat, showing off how absolutely dominant they can be. Things were getting tense in Day 2, as most teams had their dreams of making it to playoffs riding on the results of the upcoming games. First to hit the stage were Giants Gaming and Misfits. It was close until the 26th minute, when Giants blew the game wide open with a sick fight that earned them 3 kills and the Baron. And after that, it was straight up domination as Giants crushed Misfits to keep themselves in the playoffs hunt. H2K looked to keep their Cinderella run going against Splice. But it was clear the Kissing effect was much stronger than the Shook effect, as Splice dispelled H2K's magical run with a dominant victory, and reminded the rest of the EU LCS to always appreciate your support.
I just wanted to thank you for saving my life at the end. Thank you. That's some love there.
Roccat had a tall order as they squared off against Vitality, but they were fearless in the early game, turning the tables on Vitality and picking up the lead. And from there, Roccat had no problem binding
home with the binding on the double
and obliterating Vitality for a clean win. Fnatic's top lane dominance took on a new look when they subbed in Blippo for Soaz, and they didn't miss a beat.
Comes in, that might be all it takes. Second kill gonna drop. Caps takes down White Knight. But Whippo is here, is gonna get the knockup. Bite him down with the decimating smash.
They turned in their second dominant performance of the weekend, demolishing the Unicorns and putting themselves in a great position to lock in first seed. The last match of the weekend had Schalke 04 looking to upset G2. Perks and company invaded Schalke's jungle to try to pick off Nukeduck, but Schalke was ready for them and tore G2 apart to set up an easy Baron. G2 did their best to hang on, but once they got caught at the Elder Dragon, Schalke made quick work of their base to stay alive in the playoffs race.
2-0 week for Schalke. They take down G2 Esports.
After G2 going 0-2 and Schalke going 2-0, the playoffs race is still tighter than ever. Only Fnatic and Splice have locked their places, and while G2 and Vitality are hot on their heels, they're not actually confirmed yet, and every team still has a chance to make it. It all rides on the final week of the EU LCS regular season, which kicks off on Friday, March 16th at 6 p.m. CET. If there is any week you don't want to miss, this one's it, so see you there.